So you might have seen that I had to temporarily take down our first church tech tour at the World Changers Church. Apparently, it seems like some of the clearances that we originally thought that we had, we didn't really have. So we're going through the paperwork right now, and once that's cleared on their side and our side, I'll be able to re-upload that video. It's actually not taken down completely, I just privatized it. So as soon as we get through with the paperwork from their side and I sign it off, then I'll have that video back up for you guys. In the meantime, enjoy this tech tour at Revolution Church. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of this new series that we started on this YouTube channel. We're calling it Tech Tour, and it's not only going to be churches, but it just happens that I have a lot of friends that work in churches. So we're here at another beautiful church. This church is called Revolution Church, and next to me is a good buddy of mine. His name is Brian. I met Brian when we did their 20th anniversary.
20 year.
It was an outdoor summer event. It was beautiful. Actually, I'll leave a link to that somewhere up here in the YouTube world and in the comments section or in the description, so you can have a watch of that. It was a beautiful event. And today, he's invited me over to their campus to take a tour so we can see what they've been up to. Brian.
What's up?
Welcome to the channel, buddy.
Thank you.
Good to see you,
Appreciate
sir.
it so much.
I see some things have changed around here, huh?
We are fresh into Rivage. This is our third weekend with it. So we just did a console update in both campuses. So we're a church, one location here, Canton and Jasper. And so we switched over to Rivage. And then a couple other different things, new wireless, but basically other than the PA, we did the PA a couple years ago and just refreshed front of house, and we're loving it.
Well, I'm excited. I'm excited for you to take us through this, but I kind of want to take a step back a little bit. Tell us a little bit about Revolution Church, its inception, kind of where it came from, and how you guys got to this lovely facility over here.
We are a church plant of a church in, I think it's Dallas, Georgia, Westridge Church. And so we've been, like I said, we just celebrated our 20-year last year. I've been here for 13 of those, and up until, so the first 7-ish years we were portable. We met in a high school, movie theater, conference center, and then moved into here, end of 2012, beginning of 2013. And so we started this campus, built it out in different phases. We have right now a lower and a balcony, but originally it was just this lower level. This was a student room, and then we added on more kid space, and just everybody kept coming and families growing, and look up now, and we've maxed out what this campus can basically hold, and it's a great problem to have. And so that's the 10,000-foot view of the story.
So being here as long as you have, right? Kind of walk me through kind of the evolution of technology and what you've seen come and go, and then to where you are now with the brand new Yamaha Rivage in the building.
Yeah, when I came, we had basically a PA that was a demo PA. Like we kind of limped into the building. Like we have done a great job, I think, as a church of maximizing, almost to a fault sometimes, of technology, and kind of slowing the pace of like, hey, this stuff is really falling apart, we need to push it. But because I just feel like that's, we want to be good stewards. Like I'm going to be held responsible for how the church spends its finances when it comes to the technology and the infrastructure and all that sort of stuff. So we've definitely gone through, like this room looked nothing like this, other than, the steel. We've gone through video upgrades throughout the years, and adding a campus, added different systems. So we do live video between them, so that has its own infrastructure and challenges and stuff like that. And then, we were actually planning to do the PA, and then COVID hit, and so obviously that took a big backseat, because it's like, well, nobody's in rooms right now. So the PA was actually a project from when we actually started it to finish it. It was almost 5-6 years, just because of like going through it. And I try to, like, especially on our leadership, kind of I want to lead it. Sometimes it doesn't happen as well, but being able to lead and kind of like throw the ball down the field, say, hey, this is coming. This is 2, 5, 6 years, not hey, this piece of gear failed and we need it tomorrow. We don't want to do that to ourselves, but also at the same time knowing that hey, it's okay to invest and put in the right tool for the job because what we do is important.
Yes.
But also, too, I mean, like I said, this Rivage is an incredible console. It's very nice. We could, we could, even within when we were looking at consoles too, like there's obviously tiers above and below, and wanted to kind of find the sweet spot of, here's our IO, here's our needs. What do we need to get the job done can grow into a little bit.
Right.
And this one just checked the boxes for everything. And like I said, I've only mixed on it for 3 weeks. We've had it in another room upstairs, kind of like prepping it, and so that way we only have a few days between whether it's a student gathering and an adult gathering, and then when we can actually do some of these things. So we've been on it for a little while, but I mean, 3 weeks in, and I have no regrets. So
what was here before? If you
we
don't
had
mind me asking that?
originally. I mean, we were with Yamaha when I first got here. We had an M7, or no, actually we had an LS9 in the portable.
Wow, so you've come a long way.
Yes, we actually we ended back at Yamaha. We had an LS9, and then when we first expanded, we went to an M7, moved the LS9 into our student room, and then when we built, I don't know at what point we ended up needing. There was another space, so we needed another console. So then we went to, right when it came out, the Soundcraft. It was the VI 3000.
Okay.
So we were pretty early. We had one of the first ones, and that was a great console, even for back in the day. Even coming to Rivage, I'm like, man, our old Soundcraft did like a lot of stuff that is just, even some new consoles just don't do. There's definitely things that didn't do as well.
Yeah.
But then we finally ended up, when we started our Jasper campus, we moved the 3000 there, and we got a 5000 here. So
okay.
that was basically in between a Studer. Had all the Studer pre's and processing, but like a Soundcraft control surface. So, I mean, we loved that console. It's, and that was kind of the reason too, going to Rivage, and even just kind of the workflow and the layout and how you kind of think about routing and controlling stuff. Like I said, we've only been on it a couple weeks, but I think our team is really quickly able to just translate into the Yamaha workflow. And like I said, I've come full circle back to it. It's nice that I don't have an LS9 anymore, and I can actually hit the touch screen. But it's. I mean, like I said, it checked all the boxes for us.
Yeah. Nice. So. I'm pretty sure you'll take us around in a little while, but if you can answer me this question, I can't see it from here, but
it's L-Acoustics. Yeah, we've got it's like an A15 based system.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So there's 2 hangs. I think there's 6 boxes aside. There's some fills and stuff like that, but. Yeah, it's an L-Acoustics.
All right, Brian, here we are. This is front of house.
Let's do it.
You kind of want to take us through what you got going on.
Sure. Especially when we moved from our old console to this one, I'm not the only guy that mixes, so I wanted to kind of keep things in a similar muscle memory as kind of how we, where you're reaching for and what you're doing it. So for us, kind of this world is inputs when we're on our custom fader. So whether it's drums, bass, guitars, keys, tracks, effects, all that sort of stuff, we can go in. There's some utility stuff, but inputs.
They come over to this side. Okay.
And then in our middle right now is our VCAs, so all of our control groups. So how we kind of set up a console is inputs feed buses, and then VCAs control buses. So like drums, for example, there's two groups that feed that. There's a dry and a smash. Even same things with vocals. So this is kind of like DCAs, groups, outputs, and ultimately everything sums into a matrix, whether it's going to PA, broadcasts, lobby building, video control, all that sort of stuff. So
quick question for you, Brian, not to cut you off. What are you using as an output to send to broadcast? Are you on a matrix or are you on an aux?
Yes, this is something I was actually talking about somebody today. We, because of our mic setup too, because I think an important part of the broadcast is being able, like my goal with it is I want it to sound and feel like the experience in the room. And obviously you have the acoustic side of that, but you also have the congregation side of that. So we've added them throughout the years, and we've done some recordings and stuff throughout the years too, but we can go up later and look, but on the front of the stage, there's 4 shotguns and there's also a pair of 214s that sit
Okay.
there.
Okay.
And then there's also some 414s that are sitting out there
Ah,
here at front of
okay.
house. In actually kind of a weird configuration, but one time we recorded,
Interesting. Yeah.
and don't mind the nasty gaff tape on the camera stand. That's just the real world.
It
But
happens.
pointing up in just a kind of a cardioid to kind of capture the room, it's doing a little bit of PA rejection too. But this is really kind of just to capture the sound of the room.
Yeah.
Everything on the front of the stage is more applause. You know, the shotguns are obviously very direct, but that mixed with the 214s, you kind of get a good picture of that sound plus this sound.
Yep.
But having to time things together in broadcast, because obviously it's going to take time for the PA and you're going to hear acoustics from the drums, all of that summing together. So what we do is, like I said, all of our inputs hit groups. So they hit these
Yep.
groups. These groups combine for us on the Ravage. We have two stereo. I'm pointing over here like they're here, but in the default, they're normally here. You
Yeah.
have two stereos, a stereo A and a B. So for us, that's our band and our vocals. So everything sums to a group and then ultimately hits these. They can then be treated and all that sort of stuff too. And then those and we have a couple of other groups, one for speaking. Why don't I just show you?
Sure.
So these are the other groups that are not instrument groups. So I actually separate our handhelds, which we use a lot of times for hosting, our headsets, which is primarily our speaking. Then I've got all of the room mics that are on the stage into a group,
Okay.
front of house, and then some kind of utility stuff, talkbacks, a pre and post music thing for some different routing. Because we use this, there's no real DSP, like there's processing in the amps, but as far as like the building and stuff like this
Yeah.
is kind of the hub for lobby music and all that sort of stuff throughout the week and for gatherings. And then a group for our kind of like playback devices. So CGs, ProPresenter machines, Resolume, if they're sending audio.
Okay.
So those all hit those groups. So everything hits something at some point, and then it combines into a matrix. So the PA gets those groups. So if I go to sends on fader, we're getting like, and I'm actually choking it a little bit in the PA. So the handheld is actually -6, the headsets are -8, which one is nice. It helps you drive that input a little bit harder.
Yep.
Because obviously you gotta, with broadcast, you gotta kind of offset. Like if music is, you know, high 90s and then speaking's mid 70s, you don't want the up and down on the volume of you know,
Right.
somebody listening. So doing it a little bit here, offsetting into the PA kind of helps you get a little bit more. But then in the broadcast matrix, it is offset. So this is the sense to the PA. So like even our band, just in how we've gained stage stuff and everything, it's actually pulled back 3.
Oh.
It's
Okay.
not at unity. And that's just kind of like I said, every kind of step of the way matters. So, you know, we don't want to clip anything. We want to kind of have everything be in the sweet spot. And so that's the PA. But those groups don't directly feed the broadcast. If we did that, everything is at kind of that same moment in time. Obviously, we don't want to delay things to the PA.
Yeah.
We want it to come out basically as fast as possible. The console, the nice thing with Ravage is it is time aligned to everything. We actually have the whole console in delay compensation. So
Oh, look at that. Okay.
from inputs to outputs to inserts, everything is in time. So it knows if I'm taking an input to a group or if I'm taking an input.
Let's look at those latency numbers right here.
Yeah. And there is a big difference between if I take the output inserts off, you know, we're down to 1.8. But this is a number in this size room we can get away with. And obviously you got to take the time, especially working with video, to make sure things are in time. But the nice thing is audio generally usually has a lot of time to play with before video catches up.
Correct.
So those groups, like I said, feed the PA. Now what I do from a broadcast standpoint to time everything to really these room mics is basically time 0 because it's the slowest arrival.
Correct.
It's taking time for everything to
Yeah.
get there. So what I do on this console is I basically take those groups, and there's basically, I can go to this channel. I return them back to inputs. So the reason, just because of how this console can do delaying and stuff, I just delay the inputs, except the room mics at front of house, because that's time 0. so that the arrival times are all the same.
All the same. Okay.
And those are what feed recording, building, like kind of anything that needs to be timed. But it just gives us flexibility to, like for video control, I don't want to send them a delayed feed, even if it is,
yeah.
50, 60 milliseconds. So we have a lot of flexibility. And this is something I've done for a long time. It's nice in this console. In the old console, I was doing AES outputs and kind of, every time you don't want to go through analog to digital conversions, or even if AES is digital, things still kind of take time. But I just can go direct out right to some inputs. So these are my input channels.
Okay.
But they are those groups. So it's
Makes
still
sense.
the same mix. And yeah, and then those are just delayed to line up with, so if we go here, this is basically the balance for broadcast. So this is our stereo A and B, our band and our vocals. That's my handheld offset.
Okay.
So you see I've done the opposite. I've choked it in the PA to make it work for the PA, but then I've also balanced it for what feels right for broadcast.
For broadcast, yeah.
Handhelds, obviously you can see even more, and then playbacks. And then I've got a kind of a different balance between kind of the sound of them. This is the room, this is those 414s, and then this is the group that is the stage.
The stage, yes.
And you can even get into you could really finesse it. Like I was telling a friend earlier, it's like we spend all the time doing it with drums, because phase and time is important. It's like we should take the same approach, especially if you do have other mics in the room and you can get away with it. It does actually make a difference, and I feel like it makes this more usable. It makes it tighter, and our goal is to make it feel like it does in the room, and we want to make it feel better. So
yeah,
why not do it? We have the channels, on this console. We're just using basically the standard DSP. We have 120 inputs. We can, even with effects returns and utility stuff, there's no reason we couldn't make.
It's going to take a while to.
Well, there's no
max
reason
this
we
out.
couldn't make it. Yeah, a band and all this work. It does fill up and add up when you start to do stuff like this. But even just for these mics, it's worth it. So that's like I said, I feel like that's pretty simple. And that same thing is applied to, like, even the nice thing is, when you have console set up like this, I have a matrix here that feeds our comms. So
where's your comms at over here?
So right here, this is my panel here at front of house. So we use Gringo.
Oh, Gringo. Yeah, nice.
We've been with them for a while, but yeah, I've got for here, we've got a couple different groups. You can set this up however you want. I can talk to a camera if I want to directly, because sometimes in the nature of what I'm responsible for in the church, normally a front of house operator is not talking directly to a camera, but I can definitely speak into it and help with training and other things like that. And also we have we can talk directly to our Jasper campus. This is the Jasper producer. So
fantastic, that's cool.
But yeah, there's a mix going to there, and I can, it's got that same balance, but I can also put in, the band's talkbacks. I can, I can speak directly to that for my talkback if I want to, and not have to reach over and go through the comm system. So it just allows of flexibility. And it's hilarious because they literally, I'm pretty sure they have I might have taken it off because maybe not. No, I've got a master bus processor on their comm mix, but I was like,
why not?
Why not? Well, and it's funny because I was mixing this through listening to the comms because I feel like that's important. Like, it's one thing to mix it on monitors, but I wanted to mix it on what they're actually hearing.
Yeah.
And using some of like this, obviously Yamaha, Neve, and Silk is a great, but even just engaging red Silk here, red is kind of brightens some things up. So even though the texture is all the way down, it does make a little bit of difference. It, especially in the comm mix, it kind of makes that mid-range just a little brighter. So yeah, it's just, like I said, if we can make it better, why not?
Yeah. I see you have a bunch of I see some racks under the desk, and I see a rack over here. Is there anything that you're using on any of these? I do see your I/O rack is over here for
the DSP lives here at front of house. So we have a couple of, I can show you. We've got a couple of Dante cards. We do have twin lane here for the stage box for our PIO that lives back there. And then a Waves card for our sound grid. So we do use, which was nice. When we put in this console, I wanted to really push to use pretty
Oh,
much
that light's in the
everything
way.
in the
Yeah.
console.
Yeah.
But this is the extent of what we're using in sound grid. So we've got, some vocal mics. We've got F6 de-essing and tuning, basically. And then, and there's even some things in here, some of the things I kept from the default that I want to try out, like I think it's called Dance. It's like a noise suppression plugin. That's kind of what WNS does.
Okay, yes,
So
yes,
even
yes.
playing with some of that stuff. And then the main thing too is kind of why we went to SoundGrid originally, was just kind of mastering for some of the outputs, which we do a little bit of that in here, but loudness metering, some of the things that some of those tools that just the console doesn't have. But
And then is this what are you using for your metering here? Is that what software is that?
Yeah, we're just using Smart.
Okay.
So we log everything and track it, and normally we're living in our
There we go.
RTA mode. But we can see, if we started a log, we could see there's SPL over time, some little triggers. If things start getting loud and hot, it's kind of like just saying, hey, here we are.
Yeah.
But just to be able to, it's like I said, it's one of those tools. We've kind of got some targets, but that's just kind of just like with anything, it gives you one more asset. Not that you're kind of mixing to a certain number or a certain target,
right.
There's definitely trends, and everybody hears things differently. And so when we're working with, especially newer volunteers, it's one of those things that it's just another tool and a piece to be able to help have some consistency week to week.
Brian, I'm curious. I see you have an Akai pad here. Are you using this to trigger snapshots, or
yes?
Kind of. Tell me, what's that all about?
This may change. This was kind of a holdover from our previous console. So really the only thing that this is used for, I'm going to move this over here, is for tuning. So this is just tied to what in SoundGrid has as hot snapshots.
Okay.
So in our default show file, in our snapshots, there's a bunch of keys already built for tuning. So for example, if my first song's in A, I would assign it to hot snapshot 1. And so when I'm over here, 1 is then firing A.
There you go. Okay.
Which is just
for the tuner. Yeah.
And so I can clear it and kill it. There is there was at one point we had some effects and stuff coming from here. Now, like I said,
this side.
everything here is in the console. So yeah, it's basically for tuning. So yeah.
That's pretty cool. Okay. And are you still using, I don't know if you used this. Did you use this at the 20th anniversary of the SSL Fusion?
I brought it over. Right now, like I said, I challenge and force ourselves, like in a good way. I mean, Fusion is awesome.
Yep.
Especially this section right here. Like I said, this is probably worth the unit itself, is just the drive and density. And we used to have this on the band bus in the old console.
Okay.
But I've been really trying to dig into and play with, which we had on that comm mix, but is the master.
The master bus processor.
Yeah. So
there you go.
They're different flavors of it. The nice thing, obviously, with this is snapshot recallable. Not that we're really changing anything on the band bus, so to say. So this may end up being maybe something for broadcast that it goes through. I really like too the HF compression on it. It's a great. It's great. We used it for the first time I demoed it. I told the guy we rented it from, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to give this back because it's hard to unhear.
Yes, indeed.
So
totally agree.
Yeah.
Well, cool. All right, you want to take a walk with me?
Let's do it. Don't mind the mess. This is the real world.
This is the real world.
There's always projects happening, but this is our amp room. We've been in the process of kind of replacing and phasing stuff out. We just changed all of the house lights to LED earlier this year. So we had an old dimmer rack that we will give to one of our church friends they can use. But basically,
There's our
Amps.
acoustic amps over here.
Yep. And then this just went in, like I said, a couple weeks ago. This is Spectera from Sennheiser. This is the new wireless.
Let's have a look at that.
We can look at that later. Here's their 1RU, and it does our whole band, our whole. We have some old stuff still plugged in. But
so you're not using
everything.
Most of this older stuff anymore?
No, right now I just have the band on the in-ears, and then like acoustic, like instrument transmits. For some of the speaking stuff, I have them on their old packs for now, but we have, just because we're phasing things over.
Very nice.
The nice thing
let
was,
me grab another quick shot of this Spectera in the flesh.
And you can see
it's a 1RU that does all that. Can you imagine?
Yeah, we can.
That's crazy.
You can look at the back if you want. This is
yeah.
I'll let you hop back there, and you can. It's a little tight.
Oh yeah.
Now
see, I love racks that are built with lights like this.
Yeah, that's a Skylark specialty there.
These beautiful LED lights in here, so you don't have to come in here with a headlight or anything like that.
Yeah, and they've got a little sensor too. Like I said, I walked by earlier and it just popped on. So
nice.
It'll turn off after
its own internal cooling system, because all these racks just generate so much heat.
And all of this, pretty much from the pink cable up, will come out, and it'll just be Spectera. So all of this, combiners and all of that is.
This is the back for the Sennheiser racks that you saw in the front, and this is the other side for the amps, for the PA, all the way down to the new Sennheiser Spectera.
Yeah, and we're doing MADI for Spectera. It's the cool thing with any system we want to say. The cool thing, it's kind of the why we kind of go with certain choices is redundancy. So Spectera can run MADI and Dante outputs. MADI is slightly faster, and so when it comes to ears, like latency is always the thing.
Yes.
But yeah, we can deep dive Spectera later. I've got some control over there in front of the house.
I think I did see it earlier. I didn't get it on camera, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
So this is the stage.
Welcome to the stage. I think we try to keep it as simple as we can. I love the drums, and that's how I kind of started getting into audio. I played drums originally for a long time, so good drum sounds is always.
I never knew that about you. That's why you're so specific. I did notice that when I worked with you the first time, that you're very particular with drums.
Near and dear to my heart. I just feel like, especially in this music, like if you can get drums, bass, and vocals right, like I feel drums is the hardest thing to get right. You want it to sound like one instrument. You've got a lot, we actually, there's mics up here that actually we don't use that are just for recording. So if we're recording something like right now, these under mics that are isolating like just cymbals, hi-hats, some of them are just used for ears, but really from front of house, it's, one kick mic, snare top, bottom, 2 toms. I do use this. It's kind of like it won't be positioned there. This is set up from the other night. So once a drummer comes in for tonight, we'll kind of move stuff. But kind of a crush kit mic, and then just a pair of, we don't have a pair of overheads. They're like back shoulder overheads. On the rear
side. Okay, yeah, interesting.
I feel like that's.
What was the purpose for this one?
I think it's for what I think sounds good. That's kind of the sound. I want to capture a picture of the drum kit. I don't need more cymbals in them. Those are Mojave 100s. You cannot have them. They don't make. They don't make them anymore.
They don't make them.
They
anymore.
Actually have They actually have a preamp down here.
No kidding.
They go through there. You could run a mix with just these guys. It's right over here. We've got our whirlwinds, but I can pull it out here. So it's got a little preamp for them actually, but
that's cool.
Like everything in audio, you steal ideas and things from friends. So that was that was one of those.
What is the kit? Is it a Yamaha? I didn't get.
It's a Ludwig, the maple, kind of just the.
It is a Ludwig. Yeah. Okay.
I don't know the model. It's just a good old maple kit. So we do have we do this in a lot of things too. Same kit in Jasper. So like our backline, whether it's cymbal choices or anything, kind of standardizing to it. So, and our drummers are great, and we work with them a lot because it is the relationship, especially between front of house and drums. It's the loudest thing on stage. It's also, like I said, it requires, hitting the drum. You can do nothing different to the drum kit, and you can put two people behind it, and they're going to sound completely different.
Completely different, yes.
But tuning, head selection, even just playing to the room, the most important experiences right out there. So being able to have that relationship to talk to them, whether it is like, hey dude, like it's just too much cymbals, or hey, actually, this part feels great. If you want to dig in, go for it. I mean, usually now after a while, they kind of know what feels right for the room, but having that relationship is super important.
Agreed.
So, drum world, there's a shield. We're working on actually doing a little bit cleaner looking enclosure.
Oh, this works though.
So it's really just for vocals. I mean, it does help, like I said, these first couple rows also matter. So if your drums are way to the side and your shield stops and all of a sudden it's just shh over here,
very true.
That's not the best experience.
We skipped over a pedal board over here.
Oh,
what
yeah.
world is this right here?
Well, this is Kuba's. He could probably walk you through it later. But we'll move positions. But generally, our normal layout is like bass and drums over here, guitars kind of inside of the risers, keys, and then front line. So vocals,
Okay.
Usually those are the guys playing acoustics too. But we'll do all sorts of combinations. We'll do, one guitar, and then we'll move bass over there. But yeah.
And behind you is one of the
Yep, one of the shotguns.
mics that you talked about.
Yep, and even trying to kind of, get some rejection away from the drums too. And
yeah.
So we've got, these are all the lip ones. So like I said, we've grown into them. These ones that we have in this pair were the very first ones, and we used those for years and years and years. And then we were recording some songs, and I was able to purchase, the 214s. And then a couple years later, we did some more things, and I was like, oh, I want to get another pair, and we'll move them around and play with them, but this is kind of default.
Yeah. Nice. Okay.
So yeah, some little kind of like pedal board sleds for guitars.
Are these made in-house, these
Yep.
these sleds? These are nice.
Yeah,
kind of covers things up, huh?
You're getting this from Sweetwater here. No, yeah, and they've got power, their little whirlwind, and kind of this little homebrew lock just to, sometimes we'll keep, for different things, if we got to clear a stage or whatever, we can disconnect and then keep everything in there and kind of roll it away.
Nice. Okay. There's another one on this side.
Yep.
So that's why you can be as modular as you need to.
Yeah, we did.
Because of this.
Yeah, and that was one of the things that I wanted to build into over time, was just more of a flexible touring style setup. So whether it's, a power distro and, whirlwinds and anything that can quick disconnect. So you can drop power here, drop signal here, and go. Because we don't want to spend time just doing unnecessary stuff.
Yeah.
We want to spend time on the important things. And so
Agreed.
if it allows us to do that, and like whether we're flipping a stage and we need, 100 amps over here for something, or obviously LED and all this stuff, even though it's LED, everything eats power.
Everything eats power.
Everything's brighter now, so
yeah, we just LED wall is fantastic. I love it. I can't wait to see the content on there. So check this out. I just noticed something. I'm a fan of the little itty bitty details, right? So usually for stage production, you would have a lighter color or a white color tape for the lip of your stage. But you guys installed an LED strip light here just to kind of know where you are? Because I'm assuming it gets pretty dark on stage, and that's why this is here?
No, this is actually uplighting for, we use it only really during the message.
Okay.
It used to run the full length of the stage, but we've kind of gone away from that with just kind of how we're lighting music and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like a, I can't remember the name of it. It's a very white, anyways, it mixes between warm and cool. So it's a variable color temperature. It's like 3 to 8K or something like that. So obviously we shoot with the wall and everything. It's pretty cool. Like, I don't know what the actual number is. I can introduce you to Keon, and he's in video. He'll know exactly what it is, but probably 55 or so, 100. So yeah, uplight, fill light, because a lot of our key light is, at an angle to where we could get away without it, but it's just so much better to fill in the chin and you don't want raccoon eyes and stuff, or if
Wow.
people are wearing
Okay.
hats and speaking. So,
So
yeah,
this actually has a nice multi-purpose. It's nice. It's
it's just
very,
a
very
fill.
nice. How do you control this? Is this because it's assigned DMX assignable?
Yeah, there's actually a little just decoder over here that's, it's just dip switches and go. So,
Nice.
yeah.
That's brilliant. This is our keyboard.
This is Keys World.
So it's only keyboard and drums that are on a riser. Right there. And right here. Let's have a look at what keyboard this is.
Yeah, we'll go. I mean, this is the house one. There's a few guys that will bring in if they have like a Nord stage or something too. But we have the RD2000s as our main keys. I've kind of been playing with, which is funny on this iPad. They're running some sounds. This is actually Ableton control right here. So if somebody is running it from here, they've got it split. They've got their monitor mix and then Ableton control. But sometimes we'll run even just pads or other things. So there's a lot of flexibility. There's basically two stereo lines that come from this world. So we can split up if we want keys and then if we want pads or a combination of whatever they want to do. But that's the house rig.
Now, I might have been mistaken, Brian. I was under the assumption that the LV1 rig for mixing monitors was back here somewhere. It's actually out there. I think I did see it. I don't know why I was under the assumption that it was actually here.
Yeah, it's
on stage.
So it's just the console. So there's a server and an Axis, basically a control computer for it. So that just lives back there. So we have a screen next to front of house. So if I quickly need to go over and somebody's got a problem with something, we can troubleshoot it. I can also leave it in a mode to where I can see the system set up. So if something happens, something disconnects or whatever, we can troubleshoot it quickly. Or sometimes we will have like an MD for especially events. We've done it a couple times where it might be a little more flowy. They can actually just be at the monitor console at that, like a table right next to it, but they'll use the monitor console to kind of control their mix if they want to, but kind of an offstage MD who might just be running tracks and kind of flowing with them, or just, a lot of times the music director's on stage, but it just like allows for some flexibility. But that all lives at front of house. So this is monitors.
That's what I thought, because I was like, I saw it, but then I wasn't really paying attention to it because I had already made my mind up that it's over there somewhere.
Yeah, so, it's just a part of the SoundGrid network. So we're getting basically direct outs post preamp, splitting to monitors. So obviously, like anything, gain staging is important.
Yes.
But basically past the preamp, it's splitting to here. So it's 64 channels in the LV1 of inputs. Obviously, we're not using it all, but it's just a Axis control computer and a little extreme server. And there's not a ton going on in monitors because kind of our approach is there is in drums because you got to EQ and do some things to drums to get them to kind of sound right.
Yeah.
But not too much compression, not too much of like dynamic control, because just kind of working with our team, like a good goal is like we want it to be a great tool for a better performance, but also at the same time to not lie to you. So I don't want to have a guitar player just hitting some multi-band compressor and that 2K tone, like we don't want to do that. So there's minimal. I mean, let's go through and see if I'm not lying. I mean, drums, like I said, we use a lot of especially here too, like I said, latency matters. So a lot of these plugins too are like the zero latency plugins, but we use just a typical, this is overheads, but just the emo stuff. We can go into like see what's on a vocal. Little cut. There is.
And this is all processing for the ears, right?
Just for ears, yeah. And then a little bit of EQ.
A little RVox in there.
Yep, RVox is great. And then this just kind of is keeping things in check, but just a little with the capsules and where we are. I'd like to, we want it to sound good, but like I said, also not completely lie to you.
Right.
You don't want a singer just singing into compression and then they, don't have any idea where they are.
Right.
So yeah, everything gets sent to here. Whether it's like there's also like speaking groups that are post fade sends from here, so they can obviously hear what's going on there, talk backs, just a regular monitor console. Of
Sweet.
course I love drums, so there's parallel compression going into their drums because why not? But yeah, so that's just direct out off the console, 64 channels, and then they just connect through the network. We have there's a QR code backstage that they can scan to automatically join the network, and then they just pull up their MyMon app and select their mix and go.
They're good to go. That's incredible. Great solution. Great solution. All right, Sennheiser world now.
We can, I can show you. I can pull it up here. This is the back end of Spectera. They have a web UI and they also have an app, which is called Link Desk. The web UI is a little more along than the app, and so they both can work. So this is like direct control. So if I was to do something, it's going to do it in real time. Because the cool thing with the Spectera is it's bi-directional communication, and also, so like even functionally, a pack, is no longer just a transmit or receive. It can do both. So one pack, I can have, a worship leader is got their in-ear mix being sent to them, and they're also playing an acoustic guitar that's sending back, so through one pack.
Through the same pack.
Through the same pack.
That's brilliant.
Yes, and we have other packs and solutions. If like in the middle of the set they need to like take off their guitar and do something, we would obviously just put a pack on that and let it be its own thing. But it does make things a little cleaner but really more flexible. So anything, if we do something for Christmas or Easter where we want a lot more ears, or we need a lot more, whether it's violins or wireless instruments or whatever, we can save configurations and then just immediately deploy them to those packs. And you can save, I don't know what they call them, like spaces, or I should know. But anyways, it's like I said, it's kind of more not something's locked in to be something anymore. Like any pack can be an in-ear pack, any pack can be a headset mic for a pastor or whatever.
And is it carrying just one frequency to do that on a single pack?
So the way that this works is it takes up for each RF channel, it takes up a 6 megahertz. So basically like a TV channel's width.
Yeah, okay.
So I'll turn some of these off, and I can do a scan, and I can actually show you what it's doing. So in this setup we have 4 antennas, so redundancy. So each of these each of these packs is assigned to an RF channel, and you do have to play the game of there's a correlation between latency, sound quality, and kind of like think of it more of like DSP processing. So we're running things in like live low latency mode and like what you would want to do. And it is incredible. It sounds incredible. It's like, that's always kind of the worry when digital came out. But how Sennheiser is doing things is, as soon as we looked at it, and we were on really old like Sennheiser G3, G4 stuff, and like I said, it was one of those things we had used it, like it was great and it still works, but it was just an opportunity for us to, especially in our location where we're physically located here, it's even with what we have going on in other rooms, pretty dense RF environment, to the point that we were having to maybe make some trade-offs in with inner mods and stuff like that. Being able to coordinate stuff, kind of had to make some sacrifices sometimes. And with this, like I said, we are basically using, let me show you in frequency scan. So right now it's scanning and it sees our channels, but we're splitting up all of our, all of these. So like for example, in-ear 1 is actually, it has it set up, we have it set up right now for us, packs 1 through 4 are can be an instrument pack too, because typically how we set it up on the stage, that's a frontline worship leader playing an acoustic. And then we've got some packs that we have dedicated for just like headsets and stuff like that. But when it comes to that, it's fitting all of that we're doing within these blocks.
Within there, okay.
And so we can obviously scan in real time and see like there's some other stuff in the building that's actually on, RF-wise here. But it basically just takes up that 6 megahertz block.
But that's not too crazy of a noise floor. I don't know if you guys on the camera can see this. Right there. It's not too crazy.
No, and I mean, like most of the building is off right now, but also too, like to be able to future-proof us, we can obviously deploy this wherever we need to, and we can just, have, and it will in real time, if it's detecting interference, move itself.
Oh, no kidding.
So
wow, that's
it'll
incredible technology.
it kind of thinks of everything within that RF. As far as I understand it, like it's within that RF world. So yeah, it's been great. So we have, like I said, redundant antennas. I mean, there's redundant power supplies.
Are these their antennas right here?
So these are two of them that are at front of house, and then there's two over by the side of the stage.
Okay.
So for the RF1 and RF2, we kind of have them set up in no matter where we kind of go in this space, they're covered.
That's beautiful.
So
Are these the packs?
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so this is the, I think it's called the SEK. It's cool. It's like it's kind of like a, I don't want to downplay it, like a Kindle, but like how the screen always stays on, so they can always see whether it's off. So right now it's connecting to the RF, but yeah, it's just, rechargeable battery.
Beautiful.
It's on, ready to go, and it's got
they come with the standard. So any standard charging port from Sennheiser, it'll fit in there?
It's a certain model, but it's the same one that they use for their, I guess, newest digital. I think it's the 6000.
Come in for insurance?
Yeah. So right now, and it's such a new system that like handhelds are not yet out yet. They're, from what I've talked with them, they're in kind of like final QC mode because everything has to go through the FCC. So if something needs to go back, it's got to go through square one. But what we're hoping is like beginning of January, potentially. So we've got them ordered because we're obviously switching everything over. But yeah, like with a lot of nicer systems, you can pop it on, charge it, and go.
Grab one of those packs. I want to see the connectors for where the ears go and as opposed to where the microphone would go on a pack.
Yeah, so headphones, and then they've got these little screw top connectors, so it's a 3-pin connection.
Ooh, okay.
So we've got, instrument cables back here that'll I'll just show you. Just like any connector, you want to watch me connect this cable? Seat it in and then screws right in.
Boom, and that goes to a guitar or something if you needed it.
Whatever you want. We've got headset. You can get anything terminated to this, so whether you've got a headset or whatnot. So, yeah.
Very nice. That is beautiful. That is some amazing technology right there. First of all, my viewers don't even know where we are. Is this so this is Backstage. What do you call this area? Is this kind of the green room? Hangout room for the band?
Gosh, I don't know what the name is. Yeah, it's everything.
Multi-purpose room.
Multi-purpose room.
Everything's functional. Yeah, so, kind of an area for band.
This is Brian, ladies and gentlemen. He plays guitar. You play guitar and lead worship here, I assume? Okay. So there are lots of Brians here. A Brian here and a Brian there.
All with eyes?
All with eyes.
Let's go.
That's
kind of a guitar rack right here.
Can you give me 5, please?
All right,
nice.
We can, we're Backstage, so we can go see video control real quick.
Oh, this is a nice little mic, what do you call it, a mic locker, kind of?
Yeah, we used to with the old packs, putting
awesome.
them in here. Eventually, like I said, some of this will change, but yeah, we got.
This is beautiful. Very nice. All right.
So this is Backstage, This is Nina.
Hey, Nina.
Hi.
Video control.
Nice. Okay.
So this is like the primary.
It's a little dark in here, but we'll make it work.
We can bump it. You want me to?
Yeah, sure. There we go. Thank you, thank you. This is nice, man.
So this
let's start from back to front. So we got shaders over here,
We do. We've gone back and forth on whether we kind of, I say back and forth. Right now, there's not active shading. We kind of set to what we want and kind of program with that in mind. But it's also a position too. If somebody's training, whether it's a camera op or to switch or direct or whatever, they can kind of sit right here, right back behind and be on comms and see what's going on. They can pop between different cameras and kind of see scopes for, what things, need to kind of look like. And
nice.
Then just kind of a main recording, editing station.
Okay. What's the record? Is it Blackmagic?
Well, there's PCI cards that just take a decklink card that just takes the SDI with the embedded audio in.
Okay.
And then we have a slew of hyperdecks that record ISOs of cameras, backups
Nice.
for if we use Resi for campus to campus stuff, but there's
Okay.
backups for
Resolume right there.
stuff hits the fan. We've got backups for backups.
We'll pull
You
this
know,
chair up
yeah.
for a second.
And this is kind of our little monitoring station for that, so we can create cues
Okay.
and send that to
Beautiful.
Jasper.
It's just as nice as a broadcast truck, honestly.
It is very full with 4 people in here. So we're one of the projects we're looking to do next year as part of video is there's a closet right behind here and moving all of this engineering, kind of making it an engineering room to kind of gain some more space back. And we're getting older, so crawling under desks and crawling around stuff
Yes, sir.
we don't want to do that much more. But like I said, we make it work and we maximize space. Like we started in this room when I first came here. It was a little 12U black magic thing, and just
Wow.
over the
Just
years,
grew to all
not
this.
just bought stuff, but it's like everything
Yeah.
has a purpose.
Of course.
You know, I used to think back then looking at stuff like this, I'm like, why do you have a multi-view with 10 of the same things? Well, it's like you want to monitor all your outputs. And like I said, we have backups for
Yeah.
ISO, so if there's a flub on a camera during a message or whatever, we can take another camera, edit it, and what goes for the kind of online archive for forever is as good as we can get it. So yeah, video director.
Yep.
Sometimes for events we'll have 2 people, but for us usually it's the person that's cutting the video is directing the video.
Gotcha.
And Keon is the one that leads all of those teams. Keon, which is such an appropriate name for a video director.
Keon.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But yeah, the main ProPresenter station.
Yep.
There, it's off currently, but there actually is a CG, what we call CG2. It's a backup, redundant one. You know, things that they can see. Little, you know, even just down to like little tally lights for operators, like not only cameras, but a CG op to see, you know, if they're in program somewhere. Because a lot of times too, you know, there may be a camera on the stream that's not in the room, and so utilizing all the tools that you have to.
Yeah. And then they're monitoring audio on those JBLs.
Yep. Yeah. So
back
they just
there?
have a little line mixer. So they've got some couple groups coming in. They've got talkbacks and click and
Okay.
front of house mix, and they can kind of control, you know, what they want to hear through that. And like I said, this is its own. Even this front of house mix is its own matrix from my console, so I can pipe in stuff to hear, even if it's separate from what they're getting back here. There's future plans we'll have, like in the console when we kind of move some of this stuff, even just a little TO stage,
TF or something.
well,
yeah.
a TO stage box back here, so even some of the I/O that's right now coming from the amp room or through Dante can kind of all be, because like you can see, we are out of space.
I see that.
And so, yeah, we're trying to maximize
Beautiful.
everything we can do.
Everybody, I really hope that you had a good time on this one. We will continue to do these as often as we can. And I want you guys to give a big shout out to Brian and Revolution Church for having us here. We appreciate you.
Thank you for
so much,
coming
man.
out.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thanks a lot, buddy.
Appreciate it.